Hey everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy 15. On this video, we're going to be getting all of the data logs that are available in Chapter 15 of the game. Data logs were added with the Royal Pack, and it's just letters and books you can find throughout the world that will then get archived in your pause menu. Some of these books and letters already existed before the Royal Pack, and some were added. But unfortunately, any ones that you found before were not retroactively put into your data logs. So if you found it before, it's not counted. You have to go back and get it again, which really sucks. The other thing that sucks about the data logs is there is a trophy for getting 75% of them, which is actually not possible if you've already completed the game without using chapter select. The problem with chapter select, though, is that if you use chapter select, you lose all of your side quest data and a bunch of other stuff. You basically just keep your gear and your levels. So if you're like me, you definitely don't want to do that because that would be awful. So my strategy here is I will get all of the data logs for chapter 15, then we'll do the new content, get whatever data logs may be there, and then I will chapter select back to get the rest of the data logs simply for the trophy, but I will not be continuing that save because I want to keep my old save that actually has all of my progress and stuff. So, as far as I can tell, the amount of data logs I can get right now in Chapter 15 is 69. So we're going to get all 69 of them. It's going to take a really long time. I suspect this will be about 4 or 5 hours, so I'm mostly going to be skipping around, just showing you the data log, reading it for you, and saying, here it is, so you can find it yourself. The reason it's going to take so long is a lot of them are in menace dungeons, which are very, very long and difficult. So, there happens to be a data log right here in Cape Cayam where I left off, so let's start with this one. And this one is part of Cosmogony. Over rotted soil, under blighted sky, a dread plague the wicked has wrought, and the light of the gods, swordsworn at his side. Against the dark the king's battle is fought, from the heavens high to the blessed below. Shines the beam of a peace long besought. Long live thy line in this stone divine, for the night when all comes to naught. 15-2 Nadir. Alright, so when you find one of these, which are indicated by that yellow like book icon, it'll get added to your data log archive. The data log lets you read through written records and review other information about the world of Eos. So here it is. We only have one section at the moment, Cosmogony, but there's about 6 categories or something like that. 5 or 6. So here's our first one. Anything you've read that is a data log, you can come back and read it again if you so desire. And there also happens to be another data log here in Cape Cayam, so let's go pick that one up. And then after that, we will start skipping around. Oh, I thought it was already there. They get closed on me! I can't get out! So yes, their implementation on these data logs does not make me happy, the same way the bestiary did not make me happy. My original plan when they added the bestiary was to get the entire thing filled out, but that is actually impossible because I would have had to chapter select and ruin all my data, which I did not want to do. So for a completionist like me, it kills me a little bit, but I can at least get all the trophies, so that makes me happy. But having empty entries is awful. The only way to avoid it would be to do a new game plus and play through the entirety of the game again. Cape Cayam, promontory offering a sweeping view of the majestic Sigillan Sea. The ocean beyond the cape connects Lucis and Accordo, formerly serving as an important maritime trade route between the two countries. As relations between the two nations shifted and demons began appearing around the continent, maintenance of the lighthouse that guided ships to shore grew difficult, and the beacon on the rock soon shone no more. Once warm and inviting, the cape at present feels cold and deserted. The caravans that very rarely grace the seaside parking lot are usually filled with adventurous anglers, hoping to catch a coastal whopper, or hungry hunters looking for a briny bite to eat. Otherwise, the cape is currently all but devoid of human activity. New regional information has been added to the archives. Review what you discover about Eos from the data log menu. I don't know why it's telling me that, because that's the second data log I've gotten. Anyways, like I said, we're going to start skipping around now. So, let's do that. And we'll make our way over to datalog number 3. Okay, here we are in the Galdin Quay parking lot. And there's actually 4 datalogs in Galdin Quay. Oryx Culinary Chronicle 1, Entry 4, Partners. The fella I helped down the mountain and I are on our way back to Lestallum. At least I think that's where we're headed. Should only be a little further, but I feel like we're just going around in circles. Fella said we ought to take the road less traveled and follow the river. That the fish'll keep our stomachs filled. Sharp as a tack, this one. Said he wants to be a journalist, but I reckon I ought to make him my partner. Alright, next data log is over here by this merchant. Oh, and I don't have a Chocobo rental anymore. Let me fix that. I still wish I could rent it for like a year. Galdin Quay, stunning seaside getaway situated along the Vanath coast in southern Lead. Known not only for its world-class spa, but also for the exquisite seafood dishes crafted by mother-of-pearl chef de cuisine, Coctura Arland. While the Quay currently enjoys its reputation as the kingdom's premier resort, Galdin itself was once a quiet fishing town. That all changed when Niflheim made inroads into Lucian territory some 150 years ago, and effectively put all lands outside the Crown City under Imperial control. From that time onward, the former fishing village transformed into a trading post, connecting the Lucian continent with the Imperial province of Accordo. In time, the Empire shifted their shipping operations from the sea to the skies, and Galdin's importance as an Imperial outpost diminished. What the town lost in strategic value, however, it gained in culture, gleaning heavily from Altissian immigrants drawn to Lucian shores. In that sense, one could say the Quay owes its current success to the Empire's intervention. Alright, the next one is right behind the restaurant. Just before the pier. Oh, those fish. Wonder if there's new fish in there. I believe they did add new fish with the Royal Pack, but I don't know if there's new fish here.
Welcome to Galdin Quay.
Oh, and this is cool. I've never shown this before. It says winning snapshots of the 4th photo contest on display now. Theme Ignis. So there's been photo contests in the game, and the players that win get their stuff presented here. So these are the winning snapshots of the 4th photo contest for Ignis. And I'll just show them in order. Director's Choice Award, A Snowy Night by Sion. The Japan Community Team Award, glad that contest is over with, by Pyo Pyong. The European Community Team Award, A New Recipe, photographer Gab Gar. North American Community Team Award, Best Friends Forever, Ellie Norturnium Ventus. Japan User's Choice Award, Grab Him Iris, Today's the Day We Make Him Eat His Greens, by Mokiharu. European User's Choice Award, Stylish as Always, photographer Davnir. North American User's Choice Award, Perfect Synergy, backflip over the cactuar, I like it. By Blinding Awesomeness, I agree. Alright, while we're here, let's check out the other ones. Oh, actually, I don't think I can. Oh, no, I can. So, we have Prompto. Director's Choice Award. Is that me in the shadow? By Rikasan? Rikasan? Reunited by Gensaku. Chocobo, you always set my soul at ease. Jessica Tellys. The Nice King. M. Harrods. Tragic Beauty. We did it! We're the best. Don't call me Shortcake. What outfit is that? I don't think I have that one. A pensive Prompto. Gladiolus! Only the moon is watching. Gladio! Prompto! Do I look good? Titan is watching you? Nice. Rugged attire. A king and his shield in action. Protector of kin and king. Alright, and the first contest was the Mughal Chocobo Carnival. Welcome to the carnival. Kenny Crow refuses to tell the kid where the bathroom is. That's awesome. Enjoying the carnival with Where is Noctis? Caw, kids! The Mughal Chocobo Carbival. Dreaming Prince. Bonito boy. Not bad. Maybe I'll have to submit a photo the next time I do a contest. Alright, we got slightly derailed, but we're back on the datalog search. Cosmogony, the Hexathian. Titan, the Archean, steadfast as stone. Rama, the Fulgurian, sharp as lightning. Shiva, the Glacian, gentle as snow. Leviathan, the Hydrian, relentless as tides. Bahamut, the Draconian, unbending as iron. Ifrit, the Infernian, fickle as fire. Since time immemorial, they have watched over Eos.
So full right now.
Okay, and one more data log at the end of this pier. Angel Guard, mysterious island off the coast of Galdin Quay, long rumored to be the spot where the gods gathered. Some devotees used to offer prayers from the dock of the quay, but none ever set sail for the Umbral Island or Isle to make their prayers in person. The island is regarded as sacred ground, never to be tread upon. Not even the royal family is allowed access. A series of reefs surrounds Angel Guard, cutting through the oceanic currents and threatening to sink any ships that veer too close. While ferries and fishing boats typically avoid the island, some truly adventurous anglers have been known to approach the Umbral Isle in hopes of landing a big haul, but those reckless souls rarely return. I think that was a hint about a new fish out there. Perhaps I should look into it. Alright, let's move on to the next data log. Okay, here we are at Wiz Chocobo Post. If you happen to not know where that is, right there on the map. Cosmogony, the Oracle. In the distant past, Bahamut the Draconian descended to the mortal realm and graced the people of Tenebrae. From among them, he handpicked a pious maiden and bestowed upon her the power of the stars and his trident. Using these gifts for the good of all, she became the first Oracle, she who joins heaven and earth. And there's another data log right around the corner. Wiz Chocobo Post. Dossiers Dude Ranch focused on the protection and propagation of everyone's favorite feathered friends. Tourists are invited to feed and interact with the birds at their leisure. The post also sponsors chocobo races and a bird rental service for a small fee. Wild chocobos once trotted freely through the forests of Dossiers, but the recent influx of ferocious beasts has sent the birds running in fear. Despite the hunters strengthening their patrols of the area, their numbers were not enough to attend to all the lost and injured birds, and the population continued to decrease. Troubled by the chocobo's travails, Wiz Forlane sought to set up a safe haven for birds in need. Thanks to his efforts, the feathered friends of the forest once again had a place to rest their tired wings in peace. Without his hard work, the national Lucian sport of chocobo racing might have been lost to the annals of time. Alright, and there's one more data log.
What about it?
Fairly close. We need to go into that woods where we took down the I don't even remember what it was anymore. Behemoth?
Easy now.
The big baddie that we took down in the forest.
Thanks, buddy.
Alright, so on the map, it's right there. The Nebula Wood. Fog-laden forest located in the western Malachi Hills. Often referred to as the Mistwood, for the clouds that enshroud the land. The grave can be found by... wait, what? Found for the clouds that enshroud the land. The grove can be found by following the road north from Wiz Chocobo Post, then breaking from the beaten path. After passing through a peculiar rock formation, mist starts to gradually obscure the way ahead. The low visibility and unsteady terrain made this area perfect for training soldiers to fight in unfavorable conditions. The ruins of an old Lucian armory still stand to this day, but caution is advised. Live explosives still line the walls. Alright, let's go ahead and skip to the next data log. Okay, this one is right outside Phosha Hollow in the Malachi Hills. Up on a rock. A little hard to see right now, but it's a slanted rock that you can climb up. Phosha Hollow. Grotto tucked away deep in the woods of the Malachi Hills. After a recent string of incidents involving a speaking serpent who absconded with several small children, nearby residents dared not approach the mouth of the cave. In their despair, the citizens called upon the aid of the former oracle, Silva Via Flore. After luring the snake-like demon into the hollow, the oracle trapped it inside. While no other kidnappings have occurred since the sealing of the cave, one can still hear the hissing wails of the serpent within. Perhaps coincidentally, several eyewitnesses say they spotted a woman marching towards the grotto a few weeks before the first incident was reported. The woman in question had allegedly lost her baby to a band of demons and was presumably off in search of her stolen child. Any connection between these events, however, remains purely speculatory. Alright, so the next one's actually inside of the Menace Dungeon. Every single Menace Dungeon has data logs now at the campfire, so every 10 floors. So let's go ahead and skip forward to this Menace Dungeon's data log. Okay, here we are on floor 10 of the Phosha Hollow Menace Dungeon. You can see the campfires right there, and there's this new plaque thing. Whence comes the night? Let shine the light. One who led his men to glory on the field of war. One who led his clan to greatness, slashing to the fore. One who led his liege through troubled times with wit alone. Yet by the burning giant all these men were overthrown. My loneliness ineffable, my pain beyond compare. Yet I am not afforded time to wallow in despair. For a king must not avert his eyes from what's ahead. He must continue walking down the path he's born to tread.
Whence comes the night, let shine the light. Translation?
I'm pretty sure it's saying find the big bad monster and take it down.
I don't wholly disagree with your interpretation, but it lacks nuance. Perhaps seeking more inscriptions will help elucidate their meaning.
I guess it couldn't hurt.
Okay, and this is one of the short Menace dungeons, so we are done in this one. Let's skip ahead to the next data log. Here we are at the Telpar rest area. Right outside this motel. Cosmogony, the divine host of messengers. It is said that in the beginning, the six fought side by side with mankind. Even so, the deities themselves seldom appeared before mortals, and instead sent loyal servants to convey their divine will to the oracle. These servants are known as the messengers, and they number 24. Okay, this one is near the Telpar Crag parking spot. So the parking spot's over there. It's right here, right on the E in Kelbas Grasslands. And I can't seem to read it. Telpar Crag. Grand gorge dividing Diskai and Clane. This trench remains a testament to the severity of the War of the Astrals, while also symbolizing the rift that separated the six. According to ancient scripture, the name Telpar once referred to the region that now encompasses the gorge. As the gods fought against one another during the ancient war, however, their vicious battle scarred the very earth they once hoped to protect, tearing Telpar in two. Rumors have recently circulated about Imperial forces sending expeditions into explore the caverns of the canyon. That's a weird sentence. but these reports have not been confirmed. We're in Lestallum now, where there are 3 data logs. The first one is at the bottom part, down here where the looking glasses are. Lestallum, a bustling industrial town in northern Quay. Despite Imperial attempts to overtake the city, Lestallum remains the largest autonomous urban area on the Lucian continent. Compared to the long history of the country as a whole, Lestallum's own is comparatively short. The town was founded around the largest meteor shard in all of Lucis. Engineers discovered they could harness the heat generated from the glowing fragment to produce electricity. Residential and commercial districts sprung up around the new power plant, and before long, people flocked to the fledgling city. The first engineer and founder of the town was a brilliant woman who continues to inspire citizens to this day. The prominence of women in the workforce today is largely seen as resultant of her impact. Though work at the power plant, or at the plant, can be challenging, the pay is good, and many women support their families through their jobs at Exeneris. Alright, and the next one is up just off the street, near the Cup of Noodles truck, or Cup Noodles, rather. So there's the truck, it's right over here on one of these tables. Oryx Culinary Chronicle 1, Entry 2, An Egg Can Dream. Made it back to HQ hat in hand. Got a pat on the back, and boss bought dinner to celebrate my success. Said the fried egg represented me, a hatchling hunter, he said. Here I was, feeling down and out, and thinking I didn't bag my bounty, when it turns out I ate the critter. Maybe I'm cut out for this hunting gig after all. Hell, I could be the next big thing to come out of Kikrchich since the wise king. Or at least his tomb, that is. Alright, and there's one more right outside the hotel. The Leville. I don't know why Noct isn't running. I'm telling you to sprint, come on. Lame. Cosmogony, the Covenant. The earliest accounts of covenants are found in ancient tomes dating back to the time of the cosmogony, some 2 millennia ago. According to such tomes, the rites are a means by which the oracle summoned forth the gods, that she might make the will of mortals known unto the divine. Now we're in Old Lestallum, where there are 2 data logs. The first one is outside of the motel. Old Lestallum, the oldest town in Quay. One day, pioneers hoping to explore a new frontier set up camp along the river Wanath, and the rest is history. Nowadays, mentioning Lestallum immediately conjures images of the electricity-producing powerhouse to the north. In the past, however, it referred to this very spot. The name was derived from an ancient word meaning a warship's ram, chosen as an homage to the literally groundbreaking spirit of the first settlers. And much like a brave hero who once boarded said warship and fought valiantly, the town of Old Lestallum was figuratively returned from battle and now lives out its days in peace and quiet. Some citizens are not content with watching their home fade into obscurity, though, and have taken to opening up shops and restaurants to promote the town they love. And the other data log is to the right of the diner, over here. Oryx Culinary Chronicle 1, Entry 5, Homeward Bound. Been 10 days since this fella and I set out for Lestallum, and we still ain't made it back. Cooked up that river crawler he and I cracked open. We won't be starving anytime soon, but we won't be stuffing ourselves neither. Fella looks gaunt as a saber tusk. Just lucky he don't eat like one. Still, it's slim pickings out here, so I'm looking forward to feasting at the food stalls once we get back. Now we're in Meldacio Hunter headquarters, at the eastern gate next to the lookout. Meldacio Hunter HQ. Base of operations for the organization tasked with defending the Lucian continent. The Hunters undertake a wide range of missions, including but not limited to the extermination of dangerous beasts, the exploration of ancient ruins, and the investigation of missing persons. While most Lucians are familiar with the Hunters organization, few know its true origins, which date back some 150 years. In those days, the wall kept the crown city safe from the threat of Imperial invasion, but the lands outside the capital were all but defenseless against the demons. Thus, a band of Insomnian refugees took it upon themselves to keep the people of the Outlands from harm, and the Hunters were born. The outpost currently serving as Hunter HQ was once employed by the Lucian military, then refurbished by members of the organization in order to better brace themselves for a potential demon attack. The buildings have largely fallen into disrepair, however, a sign that the Hunters' glory days may be behind them. Okay, and then there's another data log here over at their firing range. Right here. Cosmogony, the Revelation. Trials by which the Six grant their blessings are first mentioned in ancient tomes dating back to the time of the Cosmogony, some 2 millennia ago. Revelations left great devastation in their wake, with entire cities being laid to ruin, and people saw them as tests of their faith.
Look at all these lights! What a relief.
Indeed. They ought to keep the demons at bay.
This time we're in Hammerhead. Right here at the road next to the vendor. Hammerhead, pit stop situated in the easternmost reaches of the Lucian continent. Owned and operated by Crown City-born mechanic Sid Sapphire and his grease monkey granddaughter Cindy Arum. Unlike most service stations that cater only to customers of the automotive variety, Hammerhead offers food and trinkets for their drivers as well. Coupled with Sid and Cindy's frank but friendly conversational style, this outpost serves as an oasis that soothes the souls of roadsters weary of the laden plains. First-time visitors beware. If you wish to remain on Sid's good side, refrain from asking about the origin of the garage's name. Now we are in the Prairie Outpost, right next to this merchant at the red pickup. Here on the map, if you don't know where it is, south of Kikachich. Right over here. Hunter Outpost. Hunter encampment in northern lead. Although Meldacio HQ thought the outpost would help facilitate communication between fellow hunters, the natural-born rogues seem to prefer keeping to themselves. Originally established during the Great War, the outpost housed countless refugees forced to flee in fear when the Empire invaded the northern city of Kikachich. Soon, their former homes were overrun by ferocious demons, and all hope of returning was lost. With nowhere left to turn and the camp soon reaching capacity, the refugees soon split out into the surrounding areas and eventually across the Lucian continent. Nowadays, the camp is primarily populated by novice hunters hoping to hone their skills against the local wildlife. Alright, and there's another data log right over here in this building, I believe. It might be in the side of the building. Yep, here it is. Oryx Culinary Chronicle 1, Entry 3, New Friends. Just as I think I'm getting the hang of hunting, they send me up here to some mountain in Quay to find some lost fella from Lestallum, and I get half lost myself. No ordinary mountain neither. This here is a fire-spewing volcano. Climbed up and crawled through every inch of this rocky hell to finally find what I came for. A little fella curled up next to a big pool of liquid hot magma. Said he's been up here for 2 whole days. Doesn't look like he'll be making it down the mountain under his own power. Okay, and there's one more data log around here. We need to head up to Kikachich. And why? Okay, there we go. For a second, it looked like I couldn't summon my Chocobo.
Easy now.
Now, one thing to be aware of with these data logs that really sucks is you can't see them while on the Chocobo. So even if you're standing right over it, the icon won't pop up. So that really sucks. There it is. Quay Trench. Though nary a trace of its rich past remains, Quay was once a residential area home to the Lucian rich and famous. Under the wall's protection, the town flourished as an intercontinental trading post where the global currency known as Gil was circulated. Those glory days came screeching to a halt, however, with the advent of the Great War. The wall's scope was scaled back due to Imperial encroachment, and the town of Quay was razed by the flames of war. Within a short matter of months, the entire city had turned to ash, leaving only the trenches behind. Now the Founder King's statue stands alone, a somber reminder of the town's tragic past. Alright, so our next data log is inside of the Quay Menace dungeon, so let's go ahead and skip forward to that. We gotta go down 10 floors.
Let's go.
And here we are on floor 10 of the Quay Menace dungeon. Whence comes the night? Let shine the light. The demon lurking deep within knows no single form. By neither blade of flame nor lance of frost can it be torn. Such menaces have terrified the kingdom throughout time, but now they must be punished for committing wicked crimes. Should we wish to vanquish these menaces once and for all, there is but one method by which our problem can be solved. We must seal the demons away, far beneath the ground, and await the day one who can dispel the darkness is found. And this is another short menace dungeon, so this is the only data log inside. Let's go to the next one. Okay, we're at the Belouve Mines parking spot right now. Right there. And the next data log is on top of those pipes. I don't remember exactly how to get up there. Let's figure it out. Oh, actually, just go over there. Not difficult. Can jump from over here. And here it is. Belouve Mines. Excavating facility dug out of the Calais steppes. These mines single-handedly supported the modernization of Lucian architecture. The Insomnian skyline is comprised almost entirely of skyscrapers constructed with Belouve-made building stones. While some sought employment at the mines as a more traditional means of achieving economic security, many hoped to strike it rich by capitalizing on rumors of rare materials hidden within the limestone walls. People flocked to the area, and a bustling mining town arose in turn. The pipelines winding across present-day Lade are a testament to the centrality of natural resources like oil and gas to the region's economy, while the trade of mineral resources has all but dried up. After the demons made a nest of the mines, the miasma they produced began eroding the walls and tainting their composition. Before long, the area was deemed unfit for excavation, and the mine closed for good. Alright, so the next one's inside the Belouve Menace dungeon. Once again, this is a shorter one, so we just have to get to floor 10. And here we are, floor 10 of the Belouve Mines Menace dungeon. Deep within the Doral Caverns and the Greyshire Grotto, the ruins left by Solheim and inside the Foshaw Hollow, the cages of the Oracle hold villains of the night, far beneath the earth, out of mind and out of sight. If we were to inside the mines another cage erect, we could avoid the people's eyes, preserving their respect. And should my well-intentioned deeds a new disaster bring, I pray my faithful subjects will forgive their foolish king. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump to the next one. We're done in this dungeon. For this data log, the nearest parking spot is the Crown City checkpoint right there. And we're right outside the Crestholm Channels. Crestholm Channels. Flood control facility once under direct control of the royal family. This series of pipeways boasts the same processing power as the as the sewage system of Insomnia, utilizing the same advanced technology. First, the channels would collect rainwater, groundwater, and industrial wastewater from the area around Ostium Gorge. The water was then processed and preserved as a valuable natural resource for the notoriously arid Lade region. With the reduction of the wall, however, also came a release from royal control, and the facility soon ceased operations. At present, the sewers serve as a nesting ground for beasts and demons that presumably snuck in through cracks in the now defunct pipelines. Freshwater fish that flooded into Crestholm have also formed their own ecosystem in the reservoir above ground, a pool known as the Soul Fishing Hole in the whole Leyden mainland. Alright, so our next two data logs are inside the Crestholm Channel's Menace Dungeon. So let's go ahead and skip forward to those. Okay, we made it to floor 10 of the Crestholm Channel's Menace Dungeon. The walls that mankind may erect, however thick or high, cannot keep out all invaders, no matter how they try. So long as earth below and sky above remain as one, a battle with the forces of nature cannot be won. The Dreadvern slithered into the gorge, its presence unknown, and with one gaze it transformed all of Ostium to stone. If we are unable to halt the wicked Vern's advance, the people of Insomnia shall stand nary a chance. Alright, so we need to go down another 10 floors for the next one. Okay, we made it to floor 20. Until the menaces have all been banished from this earth, our people shall be shackled by fear, never knowing mirth. If the Dreadvern cannot be dispelled by means we know, then we are left with but one choice: seal it down below. Permit me leave the King of Light a word of sound advice. Against our foes, a barrier of magic shan't suffice. Many men have lost their lives, they haunt me to this day. That the king should never know this agony, I pray. Alright, so we are done in this dungeon. Let's jump over to the next data log. This data log is at the entrance to the Dorel Caverns. Right there, just slightly north of the icon. Dorel Caverns. Series of caves situated in the once resource-rich Skier Heights, or Skier Heights. The area's fertile soil and natural springs coupled with the warmth of the meteor made for an ideal environment in which crops thrived and agriculture boomed. Unfortunately, the Great War had a considerable deleterious impact on the region. The kingdom used the high ground as a strategic base of operations, but the lack of ventilation in the caves made the Empire's toxic weaponry all the more effective. Poison seeped into the earth, tainting the soil and turning the land completely infertile. Even veteran hunters hesitate to explore the caverns, now overrun with demons. The only folks who venture inside are the most foolhardy of fishermen, led there by rumors of a reservoir deep underground that acts as home to some real whoppers. Alright, and there are two data logs inside of the Dorel Caverns Menace Dungeon, so let's jump forward to those. This is floor 10 of the Dorel Caverns Menace Dungeon. Would I could live a life of bliss and watch the flowers bloom, listen to the children laugh and gaze upon the moon. Would I could live in peaceful ignorance and never know the terrifying darkness that is lurking down below. And here we are on floor 20. These cages are a closely guarded secret of our line, keeping wicked ones imprisoned by power divine. Yet the sealing of these tombs is not done without cost. The Oracle gives all her strength until her life is lost. Such sacrifices must be made to serve the greater good, and yet I wonder, have we done everything that we could? Should this symbol of our failures ever come to light, our people would revolt, unsympathetic to our plight. May the future king complete the calling I could not, and may my name be forgotten, forever left to rot. Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, our next data log is near the entrance to Castlemark Tower. So, we're right here at the entrance. And let's go in, and it's in the... It's not giving me cardinal directions on the minimap. It's in the back right. Right here. Castlemark Tower. Enormous tower constructed millennia ago by the ancient civilization of Solheim. Built from sturdy stone and a special metallic material, the structure weathered the catastrophic War of the Astrals and still stands to this day, none the worse for wear. During the peak of Solheim's prosperity, its sphere of influence extended across all the lands of Eos with Dossiers and Quay at its center. Scholars suspect Castlemark Tower helped solidify the nation's hold on the continent, possibly serving as a military base of operations. The outer walls of the tower glow red when night descends upon the Fall Grove, and the entrance to the structure is revealed. Intrepid adventurers have attempted several expeditions inside, but nearly all were driven away by the hordes of demons dwelling within. Instead, most groups simply resign themselves to exploring the other ruins around the area. Alright, our next 5 data logs are down in Castlemark Tower Menace dungeon, and as you may recall, that is the hardest one in the game. You cannot use items, so if you're heading down there, make sure you're prepared. So let's go ahead and skip to floor 10 of Castlemark. Floor 20 of the Castlemark Tower dungeon, Menace dungeon. The Fall Grove ruins in the southern reaches of the sky, where were once a single fortress whose stone towers touched the sky. The wisdom of the ancients is within these walls enshrined. Their pillars pierce the heavens, bridging mortal and divine. And we've reached level 30 of the Menace dungeon. You can see it was a little rough. My team got beat up. The warning of the Astrals brought the walls and towers down, yet we held on to hope the ancients' wisdom might be found. We ventured through the woods underneath the forest floor, in search of secrets left behind by those who came before. And I've hobbled into floor 40. Deep beneath the earth where rays of sunlight cannot reach, encased in walls of stone the gods themselves could never breach, laid a trove of knowledge, so we thought. Yet what we saw was a terror out of time that left us all in awe. And we made it to floor 50. The menaces that lurk beneath us mustn't be released, lest upon the innocents the beasts begin to feast. Our forebears found the fiends below, and down here they must stay, hidden from humanity and from the light of day. My full pursuit of knowledge has cost countless men their lives. Should such a selfish ruler be permitted to survive? Nay, I say, and thus I humbly offer up my life, to forge another cage and save the future from more strife. Heed my words, O future king, and follow not my path. Walk only in the light, ye shall know the darkness's wrath. Okay, so I can finally get out of here. Took me a while to get down here and it was a little rough, but I made it. On to the next data log. This data log is near the Kernick station in Kothis, just north of Saxum Outpost, so in between the parking spot and Saxum. Saxum Outpost, small hamlet found by settlers from Lestallum hoping to develop new plots of land for farming. While the name chosen by the pioneers remains, the people are long gone. At present, the outpost is a ghost town. At the time of its establishment, Saxum was a prosperous plot of land with nary a problem in sight. The soil was fertile, the climate was favorable, and common pests were nowhere to be found. The relative lack of sunlight, however, would ultimately prove the outpost's undoing. After a pack of demons assaulted the camp, it became clear to the residents that little could be done to defend their home, and many left at once. To this day, hunters often reflect on the now infamous Saxum incident, as a failure they should strive to never let happen again. Recent reports claiming one of the surviving children was kidnapped by demons, however, suggest the tragedy of the outpost continues. Alright, and there's another data log not too far from here at Saxum Outpost, so let's head on over there.
Easy now.
Well, actually, this is the outpost. Whatever Saxum thing farmland is up here. Or perhaps they moved back in. Either way, they're this way. Actually, did I go completely the wrong way? Nope, I'm in the right place.
Thanks for the ride.
Oryx Culinary Chronicle 1, Entry 1. My first mission. Some first mission. I've looked up, down, and all around, but I'm loster than lost. Nothing I ain't used to. Walking down a road to nowhere while it's coming down cats and dogs. Stomach started growling something fierce, so I fed it a frog. That shut it up good. And the croaker didn't taste too bad going down, either. Fine dining aside, the hunter life ain't all it's cracked up to be. This data log is at the campfire in Mamalam Thicket. Right near the parking spot. Oryx Culinary Chronicle 1, Entry 7. Fishing and foraging. Another fella left the outpost today. Can't blame him. What with all the demons roaming around. Feels pretty lonely though. I've been fishing down by the reservoir when I get the chance, but there's nothing to catch but carp. Makes a man miss the taste of that Wanath salmon. HQ said I could leave my post whenever I'd like, but ain't much point in leaving now. Far as I'm concerned, this is home, for better or worse. This data log is at the Witch's Hut in Mamalam Thicket. So way up near the dungeon entrance. Mamalam Thicket. Densely grown jungle feared by many as the alleged home of the Witch of the Woods. Hunters hoping to venture inside and verify the claims for themselves have been met with resistance from the higher-ups at Maldaccio HQ, who forbid any of their employees to enter the forest. Researchers, however, are free to explore the forest as they please, and many have written extensively about the flora and fauna found therein. The thicket is rich with rare ingredients like the mushroom and other plants used in herbal medicine. The abundance of elemental mineral deposits also seems to suggest an environment ideally suited for magical synthesis, a strong reason behind the aforementioned rumors. Others have reported sightings of an enormous unidentified beast dwelling in the heart of the grove, but such assertions have been dismissed as mere hallucinations caused by toxic spores floating throughout the forest. Nevertheless, those with a penchant for the fantastic insist the monster is real, spreading word about the witch's pet to all who will listen. Our next data log is in Varanus Mart, near Mount Ravito. So this parking spot right here, you can't really see it, behind the trailer where you can sleep. The Rock of Ravito, emblematic volcano situated in southwest Clane, often cited as one of the finest sights in all of Lucis. The mysterious mountain seems to have frozen mid-eruption and serves as a popular attraction for tourists and photographers alike. The steep incline has sent many would-be climbers tumbling back down, sometimes to their doom. Picture takers who persevere, however, are treated to some spectacular shots around the mouth of the volcano. According to local legends, the body of Ifrit lies deep within the volcano. Drawn by these tales, devout followers of the fire god have made the pilgrimage to Ravito in order to pay their respects. The Empire also launched a series of expeditions into the mountains several years ago, but their aims were never made clear. This data log is at the entrance to the Pidios dungeon. Way out here in the middle of nowhere, the spot where you have to get the flying car and land in that tiny strip of land, and then come up here, in case you've forgotten, the Pidios Ruins. Pidios Ruins, ancient Solheim training ground situated in southwestern Clane and shrouded in mystery. Hidden among the mountains and conspicuously missing from all conventional maps, these ruins appear to have been all but forgotten in the modern age. Traveling the world is sure to open one's eyes to the sheer variety of climates and cultures around Eos. But the one thread tying all lands together is the presence of peculiar stone structures. The toppled towers and shattered statues seen across the continent are testaments to the artistry and ingenuity of those who came before us. And Piteos may indeed stand as Solheim's crowning achievement. But the most incredible aspect of ancient technology is its ability to seemingly manipulate time-space as we know it. Based on our current scientific understanding, every bend in the fabric of our universe must be counterbalanced elsewhere, and scholars suspect these ruins might be the space in which these interdimensional kinks are worked out. This data log's a little harder to find. This one's in the Vesper Pool. There's a trail right here, and once it ends, it's a little past that and to the right. Just sort of on a inconspicuous rock. Oryx Culinary Chronicle 1, Entry 6, Moving Out. Got back to base camp, and first thing they tell me is I'm being reassigned to patrolling some outpost in Sky. Probably better I stay in one place. Can't get lost that way. And who knows? If I make good use of the land, I might go down in the books as a pioneer in my own right. My partner cooked me up some local Quay grub as a send-off. Now that's a meal I won't soon forget. Alright, and there's another data log pretty close by, right at the entrance to the Lestallum Grove dungeon.
Easy now.
Let's see, I'm a little turned around here. It's hard to see in the dark. I think we need to go this way though, to the west. Yep, there's the symbol. Can't see a thing. Alright, so it should be coming up. Oh, I can't dismount.
Thanks for the ride.
Nice riding with you.
Alright, right here. Lestallum Grove. Stone mausoleum built by the ancient people of Solheim, who saw fire as a sacred symbol of life. The people paid homage to their patron Saint Ifrit at the Rock of Ravito, and recent academic studies suggest the people's devout faith was a driving force behind the advancement of their civilization. If one were to hypothesize that water, in turn, symbolized death among the people of Solheim, then it stands to reason that they established their space for venerating the souls of the lost beside an enormous lake, the Vesper Pool. Those brave enough to enter the tomb have reported a wide variety of traps, presumably laid to deter grave robbers. More interesting, however, is the design of the mausoleum interior itself. The emphasis on water and fluidity seem to support aforementioned theories about the Solheim civilization's conception of life and death. Alright, now my next... I closed up. That is terrible. It's still nighttime. What the heck? Anyways, my next 9 data logs are inside the Lestallum Grove Menace dungeon. However, I need to fast forward time by traveling around a little bit, which sucks. I was here. It was open. I read this and then it's closed. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump forward to the Menace dungeon, floor 10. And we've made it to floor 10 of the Lestallum Grove Menace dungeon. Oh, she so wise will take her shining trident in her hand. Then she shall rise to spread the word of peace across the land. And lest the world forget her efforts or the life she gave, upon these monoliths her noble deeds I shall engrave. Floor 20. The gods are fickle entities, capricious through and through. Those among us who receive their grace are numbered few. And while I was not blessed with acumen or power divine, the gods bequeathed to me a greater gift, her hand in mine. Floor 40. The greatness of the Oracle was heretofore untold. Her power was unparalleled, her heart was made of gold. She healed the masses, sending words of kindness from her lips. The brilliant light with which she shone, never could be eclipsed. Floor 50. Upon receiving tidings of the expedition's fall, I realized our sole surviving bastion was the wall. To suppress the menace and dispel the disarray, we set out for the shaded groves of Quay without delay. Floor 70. Like a ray of light piercing straight through darkness's heart, the trident that she wielded cut the demon hordes apart. No matter what ferocious foe may wait within the glades, it shall be rent asunder, powerless before her blades. Floor 80. The waters of the Vesper Pool had turned a sea of fire. Smoky, swirling billows had enshrouded all the mire. Searing bolts of lightning crackled downward from the skies, yet 'twere not clouds but wings that soared before my very eyes. Were our foe the scourge of stars, it could have be purified? Yet this menace was no demon. That we soon descried. The oracle I loved was slain, and with our flag she burned. Beleaguered and bereft, to the forest I returned. Floor 90, I finally made it. With the rains that fall upon the earth and nurture life, also come the bolts of lightning, couriers of strife. Though man can't curb the fearsome whims that rule the natural world, against the beast, the white flag of defeat needn't be unfurled. Looking to the oracle for guidance in these trials, I realized we might defeat the menace with our wiles. First, we draw the devil down and seal it in a cage, then entrust its exorcism to the coming age. Until an heir arises to succeed the life she led, her staff in hand, I shall become the oracle in her stead. Alright, we are done in this menace dungeon. Let's get out of here. This data log is right at the entrance to the Greyshire Glacial Grotto dungeon. Right here, near Calatane's Plunge on the map. Greyshire Glacial Grotto. Fabled waterfall cave tucked away behind Calatane's Plunge. The water spilling forth from Loch Threocus conceal congealed caverns whose winding halls have vexed many an adventurer hoping to plumb their depths. A legendary sword connected to the royal family is said to slumber within the recesses of the cave, but its existence has not yet been confirmed. Although countless hunters have attempted to follow up on these rumors, the monstrous Midgardsormr slithering around outside the grotto has served as a strong deterrent. This is floor 10 of the Greyshire Glacial Grotto Menace Dungeon. O ye, devoid of virtue, O ye, impure of soul, O ye, consumed by anger, who dost the death knell toll. O ye, who throughout time has spread thy scourge across the land, shall slumber neath the earth, laid to rest here by her hand. Alright, so this Menace Dungeon has 30 floors, so we just need to get down to 20 to get the final, I believe these are called monoliths? The final data log for this category in the game. And here we are at floor 20. Shadows meld into the darkness, all signs of thee are lost. Thy robes and blade of steel, sealed within a tomb of frost. Till the coming of the king, whose aid we call upon, I seal thee as a sign of hope, the light before the dawn.
I think that's the last of the monoliths.
Sure looks that way. Hard to imagine even a king of yore was no match for these menaces.
Sad to think his story is all but forgotten.
But it isn't over. It seems the king believed his heir would one day vanquish these foes.
That means you, pal.
Yeah, thanks. I got that much.
Already done. Alright, we are done with Menace Dungeons, thank God. But we still have more data logs in Chapter 15 to discover. So, let's jump to the next one. Our next data log is inside of Arachial Stronghold. Right here on the map. Kothis the Disc is the closest parking spot. Strange loading screen there. Anyways, I'm trying to get to the warehouse near the center. And got some weird loading going on. I believe that's the warehouse right there. Yeah, this is definitely it. There might be some enemies inside. Yes, there are, but they're only level 17. So they're gonna get destroyed.
Want some?
Right, where's the rest of them? One over there. And we're clear. Right here. Research log ME745X24. Our expedition into Telpar Crag produced some curious fruit, the wreckage of what appears to be an armament of antiquity. I have read many reports claiming the lost civilization of Solheim constructed magitech weapons to fell the gods, but to think that one would appear before my very eyes. Though it is damaged, I believe I can get it up and running. Our next data log is inside of Fort Valerie. This fort right here. And it's on the western wall.
Let's do this.
Right.
So I'm just gonna ignore these. It's gonna be in one of the tiny buildings. And I forgot my stamina trick. Ran out. Alright, it's one of these buildings coming up. I don't think it's this one, but let me check. Oh, it is this one. Research log ME745-11-25th. Solheim's Godslayer is a fascinating feat of early magic technology. Its high-output laser cannon and dimension-defying mobility are simply breathtaking, even by modern standards. Lest our enemies to find out about this wondrous weapon, I have decided to restrict all access to information about the device to senior scientists with level 3 clearance or higher. Our next data log is inside of Fourmouth Garrison. Closest parking spot is probably the Norduskian blockade.
Last thing I need now. Eyes peeled, mouth closed.
So the data log might actually be here. It's in one of the small buildings. That's not it though. Must be this way. Just gonna ignore these. I don't need to fight them. This could be it over here. Nope. Hold on, let me open up the map. That might be it. Perhaps this one. Yep, here we go. Research log ME746-2/3. After running a series of anti-ballistic tests, I am pleased to say the Magitech device's plate armor is far more resilient than I anticipated. Conventional weapons leave nary a scratch. Even our most advanced armaments are no match. It is abundantly clear this machine was designed to withstand any assault the gods might make in their fight against humanity. Perhaps the divine, too, would prove powerless before its might. This data log is outside of a fortress. I don't actually know the name of it. Doesn't list the name here, but we're in the Kosheri Plains. And it's right here northwest of that fort. Or sorry, northeast of the fort. In a tower. Research log ME755623. This morning, the higher-ups ordered the Perpetuous troop to disband. It appears those nosy researchers have finally caught on to our plan. That simply means we'll need to hide the device before they get their grubby paws on it. I've decided to leave some scraps we salvaged from Telpar strewn about the base as bait. A diversion that ought to buy us enough time to dispose of any potentially incriminating evidence while fleeing from the authorities. This data log is just south of the Longwythe Rust area. This data log is just east of the Longwythe Rest area at this building just off the road. So there's Longwythe. Here's where we are. Longwythe Peak, colossal crag towering over the Weaver Wilds in central Lade. Popular among tourists and geologists alike as a spot for souvenir shots and scientific studies, respectively. For roughly 2 millennia, the mystery of the mountain's origins has perplexed people across Eos. Geologists have uncovered no signs of seismic activity among the plates beneath the peak, and the oil fields underground rule out any volcanic hypothesis. Moreover, the rock that composes the crag has proven resistant to all forms of erosion. Thus, the question remains, just how did Longwythe come to be? The broken buildings in the surrounding area are remnants of the pre-kingdom days, echoes of an era long gone. Some scholars speculate that whatever natural disaster destroyed these homes might have also been responsible for creating the now famous crag. This data log is near the Disk of Kothis, the closest parking spot being Rydell Ley, so southeast of Rydell Ley. Kind of some sort of like pump station just off the road. I don't know exactly what this is, but kind of a random structure here. The Disk of Kothis. Circular crater created when the meteor crash landed into the middle of the Mincemoor in the Age of the Gods. The impact shattered the Earth, leaving a bowl-like basin that inspired the site's nickname. The asteroid never hit the ground, however, as it was intercepted by the Archean, who now slumbers with the rock upon his back. The round pits that pepper the Discayan landscape are said to have been formed by bits of the meteor that splintered off upon impact. One such meteor shard now serves as the primary energy source of the power plant in Lestallum, which converts the heat from the fragments into electricity. The people of Discae have a particular reverence for Titan, not only for shielding them from the meteor, but for indirectly providing them with the energy that supports their lives as well. To this day, devout disciples still flock to the disk, braving the treacherous terrain in order to pay homage to their patron saint. This data log is right near the Three Valleys parking spot in a shack nearby. So there's the parking spot right there. Oryx Culinary Chronicle 1, Entry 8, The Hero of Saxum. Sounds like my ex-partner's doing pretty well for himself. Don't even need to subscribe to his magazine since he keeps sending me copies. Ain't so bad though. The missus loves his recipes, and the little sprat keeps begging me to read him one of those fairy tales at bedtime. Can't say why, but all those stories remind me of Lade. Ought to take the family back home and show them old Longwythe. It'll have to wait till tomorrow though. Still got a few Busamons to bust up before dawn. The final 3 data logs that are available in Chapter 15 are in Altissia, so I think I'll just run to each from here. Because Altissia can be kind of confusing, so I don't want to jump around, I'll just run to each. So the first one's kind of behind the hotel.
Oh, there's supposed to be a real good photo spot around here.
Huh. Sure.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's go.
Photo op dock. Alright, we'll have to do that as well. Actually, let me make that active. Oh, it is active. Well, where is it? Ah, it's out there. I see. Well, we'll do that too. So yeah, you just kind of wrap all the way around, and you will eventually find that data log. Here it is. Altar of the Tide Mother. Ancient religious structure jutting out into the Saluna Cascades. The government has apparently taken a vested interest in safeguarding the shrine, forbidding all unauthorized access. While the shrine is now widely known as a place for showing reverence for the sea goddess Leviathan, its history is shrouded in mystery. The ballard-like poles posted around the altar suggest the spot may have once been used for mooring boats. Others postulate it may have been an astronomical observation point from which seafarers studied the stars to strengthen their celestial navigation. Alright, so let's go to that dock, see what this photo op's all about. I think the closest... Oh, actually, there's a boat thing right here, but I think it's above me? Yeah, it must be above me.
It's nice to not have to kill anything.
Well, we will go to the one... Oh, I know what boat thing that is. We'll go to the one right next to the Laville. I wish I could sprint.
Splendid. Where are we off to?
We are off to whatever that one is. Gondola Marina.
Fantastic. Call when you need a ride back.
Take a shot from here.
Good call. Now it's picture time. Let me get this shot.
Not bad. I like it. We will save it.
We ought to hold on to this one.
So,
right.
Care to take a cruise?
Next data log is at Mago. Whoops.
Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure.
Shop till you drop.
Cosmogony, the crystal. There once lived a man, born a mortal but blessed with powers divine. Conjuring a collection of glaives, he dispelled the darkness plaguing our star. As a reward for his efforts, the gods granted him a holy stone, the crystal, which he was to guard at all costs, for it would one day choose a king to see us through the coming disaster and lead us to salvation.
Think I'll get some.
Okay, and the last one is at a restaurant. I don't really know how to describe
Where are
getting
we
there,
off to?
but the closest boat place that you can go to is Palsino Street Station.
Fantastic. Call when you need a ride back.
Alright, so you want to go up the stairs, turn to the right, go up some more stairs, and then you're basically there. Actually, never mind. You have to wrap around this way. Altissia, capital city of the Accordo Protectorate, a league of towns located on an island south of the Lucian continent. Although technically under Imperial control, the city is afforded considerable autonomy, enjoying political, economic, and religious freedom. Legend has it Leviathan sank beneath the Saluna Cascades and entered into a deep slumber after the War of the Astrals. For that reason, the sea goddess has come to be revered as the tutelary deity of the town. The Tide Mother's followers believe she takes many forms, fluid like the waves she controls, and have erected a number of statues in her various images. Alright, so that is all of the data logs that we can get currently. Let's take a look at the list. Data log. So cosmogony. Missing one. I thought that must be on one of the earlier chapters. So we'll pick that up. Almanac. We've got a bunch done here. Actually, almost all of it, but missing the last 4. Chronicles, we got all 8. Monoliths, we got all however many. Those are from the Menace dungeons. And Omega files, we're missing 3. That is in the content that they added. Also, something that they added with the Royal Pack is Dossiers. And since I've been reading a lot, may as well go over these now, because I don't know what other video I can squeeze these into. Dossiers lets you read profiles of people you have met over the course of your journey. Noctis, son of King Regis and 114th heir to the Lucian throne. Though he was chosen by the crystal to serve as the savior of this star, an injury incurred as a young boy deprived him access to the full potential of his innate power. With his father's blessing, he sets forth from the crown city of Insomnia on a road trip with his 3 closest companions. Their destination, Altissia, where Noctis is to wed the Oracle, Lunafreya Nox Fleuret of Tenebrae. Leaving the shelter of the Citadel for the first time enlightens the prince as to just how unknown he is outside the castle walls. Days after his departure, Noctis learns the treacherous Niflheim Empire has destroyed the crown city and stolen the kingdom's treasured crystal. His shock and confusion mount upon hearing a broadcast listing his father, his fiancée, and himself among the casualties. With reluctance and a heavy heart, he takes up his late father's mantle and embarks on a journey of soul-searching as the new king of the realm. Having spent 10 years slumbering in solitude and basking in the light of the crystal, Noctis finally awakens as the one true king, the sole beacon of hope in a world overcome by darkness. He rejoins his friends and returns to Insomnia in order to fulfill his kingly calling. Gladiolus Amicitia. I can never say his name right. Amicitia, I think? Something like that. Eldest son of House Amicitia, sworn protectors of the crown. Gladiolus expressed an avid interest in the martial arts at a young age, later sharing his knowledge with Noctis. As a boy, he spent many days shadowing his father, Clarus, at the Citadel, officially joining the Crown's Guard at the age of 18. When the Crown Prince departs for his wedding, Gladiolus serves as his primary protector. A consummate outdoorsman, Gladiolus knows the ins and outs of roughing it in the wild, a skill that serves him well on the Friends' royal road trip. The bond the shield shares with his king runs far deeper than that of a bodyguard and his lord. As a sworn protector of the crown, the shield of the king must stand alongside his liege and shoulder the fate of the realm together. Having watched his father Clarus defend the late King Regis, Gladiolus understands better than anyone the risk and responsibility of this position. Yet it is his unwavering faith in Noctis that inspires him to serve as shield. After suffering the bitter taste of defeat against Imperial High Commander Ravis Nox Fleuret, he temporarily separates from his friends in order to further strengthen himself, and in turn, better serve his king. For 10 years, Gladiolus traveled the world dispatching demons while awaiting the return of his king, never once losing heart. He returns to his home of Insomnia with Noctis at his side, more determined than ever to help the true king fulfill his calling, and defend him from any harm that should come his way. Ignis Scientia. Son of House Scientia, a family of royal retainers. Serious as he is studious, Ignis entered into Noctis' service at the age of 6, carrying after the Crown Prince after that day forward. On the road, he acts as caretaker for the entire crew, driving the car and balancing their books. He also monitors the group's nutrition, effortlessly preparing exquisite meals, the result of many hours of culinary practice. In the wake of the trial of Leviathan, Ignis raced through the streets of Altissia in hopes of rescuing the fallen prince from certain peril. The battle with the Empire was won, and Noctis was saved, but not without cost. Ignis had lost his sight. Determined to continue protecting the crown prince, but unsure of how, he struggles finding a way to move forward. During Noctis' absence, Ignis devoted himself to overcoming his blindness. While his sight never returned, his other senses grew sharper by the day. Before long, he had remastered everything from cooking to combat, all without the use of his eyes. With a newly returned Noctis at his side, the Hand of the King heads home to Insomnia to help his liege reclaim his throne. Prompto Argentum. Common-born classmate of the Crown Prince, Prompto forged a friendship with Noctis after a fateful encounter with Lady Lunafreya's lost dog brought them closer together, and the two have been inseparable ever since. In preparation for the long road trip ahead, he practiced handling firearms under the tutelage of Crown's Guard veterans. The pauper and Noctis' prince, Prompto makes up for his lack of royal prestige or combat prowess with his upbeat personality, lifting his comrades' spirits when the going gets tough. He can almost always be found with his camera in hand, snapping shots and capturing memories of the journey. Most men are born, but some are created for a special purpose, and Prompto is one such man. Artificially generated from the genes of mad scientist Verstale Basithia, he was initially intended to serve as a test subject for one of the Empire's Magitech experiments. The unstable scientist's plans went awry, however, when a Lucian spy operating on a hot tip absconded with baby Prompto and entrusted him to a foster family in Insomnia. Upon uncovering his inauspicious origins, Prompto plunges into an existential crisis. How can he befriend the very people he was created to kill? Yet he is pleasantly surprised to find that, when he reveals this long-kept secret to Noctis, the bond they share is not merely unshaken, but even stronger than ever. Having once sworn to help Noctis break down the walls and usher in the dawn of a new world, Prompto does his part to uphold this promise during his friend's decade-long absence, assisting refugees flocking to Lestallum and taking down the demons that threaten their livelihood. Yet despite Prompto having grown and changed over the years, one thing remains constant: his devotion to Noctis. Even as the king and his royal retinue return to Insomnia, Prompto heads home not as his liege's retainer, but as his best friend. Regis Lucis Calum, 113th monarch in the line of Lucis and father of Noctis, a strong and sapient ruler. Regis channeled the power of the crystal to conjure an enormous barrier and shield the city of Insomnia. Sustaining the wall took a toll on the king, however, slowly sapping him of his life force over the course of 30 years. At present, Regis's condition has worsened to the point that he can barely walk without aid, yet he still managed to send his son Noctis off to his wedding with a smile on his face. With his strength waning and the paths laid before him few, Regis outwardly accedes to the Imperial Chancellor's offer of an armistice, knowing full well the Empire's proposed peace was an empty promise. With his trusted advisor Clarice at his side, he stilled his resolve ahead of the signing ceremony, anticipating an Imperial assault. Though he and his friend fought valiantly, they were outnumbered, and Regis was cut down by the blade of General Glauca. Coriolanus, head of the Crown's Guard and widely regarded as one of the 3 most powerful warriors in the Kingdom of Lucis. His unfailing ability to return from the brink of death has earned him the nickname Cor the Immortal, an appellation he particularly dislikes. On the eve of the signing ceremony, Regis tasked Cor with evacuating the citizens ahead of the Imperial assault, knowing he could trust the Marshal implicitly. After seeing the ruins of Insomnia, he seeks out Noctis to share with him his late father's dying wishes. Cor holds the distinct honor of having served 3 separate Lucian monarchs, Mors, Regis, and Noctis. While his loyalty to his lieges has never wavered, his attitude toward authority has evolved over the years. In the arrogance of his youth, he publicly criticized Regis's retreat from Accordo in the Great War, calling the then Crown Prince and his men a bunch of cowards. While Quay's Crownsguard colleagues were incensed by this show of impertinence, Regis was impressed with the young firebrand's willingness to speak truth to power, and immediately hired him as a personal bodyguard. The Marshal was so touched by this show of grace that he swore to devote his life to serving Regis and his son Noctis. Iris Emacitia. Daughter of House Emacitia and Gladiolus' younger sister by 8 years. Her family's closeness with the crown brought her into contact with Noctis at a young age, and the two became fast friends. Many mistake the Crown Prince as aloof and unaware, but Iris knows how caring and compassionate he truly is. With the aid of her retainers, Monica and Dustin, she manages to flee the chaos of the Crown City post-ambush and arrive safely in Lestallum. Iris first met Noctis at the tender age of 5. Her big brother's stories piqued her interest in the prince, a curiosity that one day drew her to the Citadel in search of this young man. The castle grounds proved too labyrinthian for the tiny Iris, and she soon lost her way. By some fortuitous turn of fate, it was none other than Prince Noctis who came to her rescue. From that day onward, Iris has harbored a special admiration for him, though she is loath to ever reveal her true feelings. Instead, she opts to show him affection via hand-sewn gifts. Jared Hester. Cordial and courteous retainer who has attended House Emacitia for many years, having worked in service of Clarice, senior advisor to the crown. He also enjoys great familiarity with the royal family, including Prince Noctis. Jared managed to escape the crumbling Crown City and take refuge in Lestallum. A man of great erudition, he takes copious notes about all sorts of ancient legends, then shares them with his grandson Talcott. Jared was beloved by all, not only for his gentle demeanor, but also for his fierce determination. He took great pride in serving House Emacitia, a family that has given birth to countless Crownsguard captains and shields of the king over the years. Even in his old age, when he could barely walk without aid, Jared stood stalwart in the face of Commander Caligo Uldor's Imperial intimidation and proved himself a defender of the crown in his own right. Talcott Hester, grandson of Jared Hester, retainer to House Emacitia. Gladiolus and Iris view him as something of a little brother, doting on him and watching him grow over the years. With Monica and Dustin's assistance, he fled the Crown City in the wake of the Imperial assault. Now he spends his days in Lestallum, trying to find some way he can support his idol, Prince Noctis. Talcott's heart is broken by the tragic death of his grandfather, yet time heals all wounds, and before long he is once again working hard to make himself useful to the prince. A paragon of decorum, Jared instilled within the young Talcott a staunch stoicism far beyond his years. Only when the topic of conversation turns to his favorite colorful cactuar statuettes does Talcott truly act his age. Monica Elshett, Crownsguard officer who reports directly to Clarice. She and her longtime partner Dustin are a complementary pair of comrades, and together they offer all kinds of advice to newer recruits like Gladiolus and Ignis. The two of them escorted Iris and the others away from the chaos of the Crown City, and saw them safely to Lestallum. At present, she takes her orders from Quay, who has directed her to assist Noctis in his journey. While Monica is renowned among her colleagues as a capable combatant, her talents extend far beyond the realm of fighting. She is also an accomplished chef, providing her fellow Crownsguards with balanced meals using fresh ingredients wherever possible, or whenever possible. Her various gifts have earned her the admiration of many of her male peers, who in turn envy Dustin for being able to spend so much time with the officer of their collective eye. And finally, Dustin. Dustin Ackers, Monica's Crownsguard colleague who also reports directly to Clarice. A man of few words and even fewer notable characteristics, Dustin prefers to fly under the radar and carry out his missions without much fanfare. His commitment to his work, however, is unparalleled. In the tumult that followed the Imperial assault on Insomnia, he risked his life and limb to see Iris and the others to safety. He then undertook a series of assignments at Quay's behest, who tasked him with monitoring the Empire's activities across the continent. He longs not for glory, only to be of service, a true unsung hero of Eos. Alright, so we got all those data logs, we checked out the dossiers, and we did a couple of other things as well. And we are all done here. For those of you who are wondering, this whole video took me almost 7.5 hours. So if you're looking for these data logs, expect to be at it for a long time because those menace dungeons are not short. They take quite a while. But anyways, we are all done here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.